All 28 points of the U.S. peace plan have been revealed. 1. Security and political status of Ukraine. Confirmation of Ukraine's sovereignty. Ukraine receives security guarantees from the U.S., but with conditions. Ukraine enshrines its non-aligned status and rejection of NATO in the Constitution. NATO confirms that Ukraine will never become a member of the alliance. The number of Ukrainian armed forces is limited. Ukraine remains a non-nuclear state. 2. Territorial issues. Crimea, Donetsk, and Luhansk are recognized as de facto Russian territories. The Kherson and Zaporizhzhia regions are frozen along the line of contact. Some territories become a demilitarized buffer zone under the effective control of the Russian Federation. Both sides undertake not to change borders by force. 3. Military agreements. NATO will not deploy troops to Ukraine. NATO fighter jets will be deployed to Poland. Security dialogue between the U.S. and NATO Russia. Creation of a U.S.-Russian working group. Russia will legally formalize its policy of non-aggression against Ukraine and Europe. 4. Economic bloc and Ukraine's reconstruction. The U.S. and Europe are launching a major investment package for Ukraine's reconstruction. $100 billion in frozen Russian assets will be used for Ukraine's reconstruction. The U.S. will receive 50% of the profits. Europe will add another $100 billion. Other frozen Russian assets will be used for joint U.S.-Russian projects. Creation of a Ukraine Development Fund, investments in infrastructure, resources, and technology. 5. Russia in the global system. Gradual lifting of sanctions. Russia's return to the G8. Long-term U.S.-Russia economic cooperation. 6. Humanitarian issues. All-for-all exchanges, return of civilians and children. Humanitarian programs, family reunification. Educational programs on tolerance. Rejection of Nazi ideology as a condition in the document. 7. Energy and special facilities. Launch of the Zaporizhzhia NPP under IAEA supervision. Electricity is split 50-50 between Ukraine and Russia. The U.S. is helping to restore Ukraine's gas infrastructure. 8. Internal political processes in Ukraine. Elections 100 days after the signing of the agreement. Full amnesty for all war veterans. 9. Implementation and monitoring. The agreement is legally binding. Monitoring is carried out by the Peace Council under Trump's leadership. Violations, sanctions. After signing, immediate ceasefire and withdrawal to agreed-upon positions. Ukraine's deputy chairperson at the UN stated that the plan violates key demands, territorial concessions, renunciation of NATO membership, and limitations on the Ukrainian armed forces. Ukraine will not sign Trump's plan. A few hours later, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy released a video in which he stated that this is one of the most difficult moments in our history. Ukraine could now face a very difficult choice, either the loss of dignity or the risk of losing a key partner. Either the complex 28 points or an extremely difficult winter, the most difficult one yet, and further risks. Life without freedom, dignity, and justice, and for us to trust someone who has already attacked twice. They are waiting for an answer from us, but I gave it on May 20th, 2019, when I pledged to defend Ukraine's sovereignty and independence. Zelenskyy stated, "We will continue to monitor developments.